Okay, so we have a special video today. I'm joined today by Locky, who is the winner of the most recent 2 Key Cup. How's it going, Locky?
Yeah, hey Luscious. Yeah, good, good. Thanks. Hi everyone.
Well, huge
Yeah, good to be.
congratulations. Here, I'm gonna maybe turn off my camera on the back end because I get distracted here. Sorry. Well, huge
Yeah.
congratulations. Um, Uh, you rose to the top of a very strong field, which I'm displaying briefly on screen here. This was sort of the like by Elo, this was our strongest field yet. Just to highlight that briefly, put it up on the screen. The lowest player to qualify had a Elo of 599 at the time. So this is basically 600, 700 level Terra Mystica that happened in this tournament. So anyone not familiar with the format, this is the 2 Key Cup. So it's basically a single elimination tournament. The highest rated players on BGA, the 16 highest rated players, qualify for the tournament, and then you do 2 rounds. So the first round is 4 4-player games, and each of those winners goes on to the final game. And here with Locky, who is the champion. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty chuffed. Pretty good. Um, yeah, we can get into it as well, but yeah, it's a little bit of an unexpected victory, but yeah, man, I'll take it. I'll take it, and very pleased to beat some big names.
Excellent. Yeah, I appreciate your modesty, but it was definitely hard fought and well earned and well deserved. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first game, we won't go through the whole first game here, but I'm putting it on the screen. Can you see my screen okay right now?
Yeah, yeah, all good.
Okay, so I'm putting the result on the screen. Pretty close game for the top 3 spots there. Definitely a really strong table, just like all the tables in this tournament. But you managed to win as Swarmlings. So before we fired up the recording here, you started talking about that. You were happy to land on Swarmlings for this game, I take it, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was my goal per se.
And then how did that game go? I know I was going through to write a little blurb of it. I ended up watching the replay though. I didn't follow it live too
Yeah,
much. I know you did like a little bit unconventional stuff. You did a lot of like tempo play, passing at precise moments, even if it was inefficient. For like you did some priest to worker conversions to get down to second town in a town round, stuff like that. You did a
yeah.
ton of coin conversions over the course of the game. What did anything stand out for? It was basically just like power equals coins, for a lot of it. So does anything stand out for you? Anything? How did
Y-
that game go?
Yeah, I think so. Can you scroll down as well to see the other
Yeah, yeah.
facts in the game?
Oops. Let's see
Um,
if I can scroll down. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah. Uh, I think it was a game as well where there was maybe low coins. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, maybe going to the
yeah,
actual game.
let's look at the setup here. So we
Yeah,
had just the 6 coin tile in, and that was it. So that explains all those
yeah,
coin conversions.
exactly. So yeah, I had in mind like Swarmlings are really like they're known to be self-sufficient, like as well, can stand on their own. And yeah, that was kind of like linked to my strategy because I thought there are no sort of coin bonuses early on. Okay, there's like the priest for 2 coins later in on the scoring track.
Yep, yep.
They're just working bonuses. Yeah, and on the bonus tiles, there's just the 6 coins. So I really didn't want to be fighting, yeah, for coins. And I thought, okay, swarmlings are going to be able to produce a lot of power and just convert those into coins. So yeah, that was kind of baked into my strat, really.
Beautiful. Yeah, and some nice pass tiles for swarm lanes too. Like I feel like I usually appreciate the big building tile and the trading post tile in particular if I'm on swarm lanes.
Yeah, and then oh yeah, chaos and engineers. Like I've really struggled to do well as with engineers when there are color neighbors. I don't know why. I feel like other people manage to do a lot better. Engineers is kind of one of my weaker factions, anyway. So yeah, I was trying to kind of game the the auction a bit to really sort of heavily weight towards getting swarmlings, um, by kind of ordering them in terms of um, how, like, I didn't choose like everything else to 40 and then really heavy on swarmlings. I kind of tried to think about what order other people would place the factions in, and then make the point difference between swarmlings and the other factions like more exaggerated to
Okay,
end
you
up
just
on.
sort of exaggerated it a bit. Okay, that's smart, and it worked out. What did let's see. So we can we're not going to go through the whole replay, but we can see. I think it'll show us the values here. You got them for 29. So they were the most bid faction, but not by a huge amount. And yeah,
Yeah, well, that's the
nice.
thing is because yeah, it's like an auction, right? In the sense that it goes to like the highest bidder kind of gets the second highest bid in a way, right? So I think I bid a lot more than 11 points, but
Right.
I was kind of relying on other people not going for that same
Exactly.
strat.
Yeah, and with fast auction, I feel like that usually works. Like I feel like I've gotten surprised at really
Mm.
strong tables a couple of times, where like everyone kind of had the same valuation. So I'm like, oh, I just bid, you know, 30 points or whatever on. But most of the time, it sort of flattens the values out quite a bit. So you were happy to get them for that price then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I was actually, yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
they,
then
they
yeah.
it does feel like a bit of a win. I don't know, to kind of get on the lowest bid for some reason. Like as though that was the most popular. Like, that's just a weird side point, but I don't think that's necessarily true because some people would probably be really happy to get a 40 faction. Um,
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it depends, but yeah, I feel like
mm,
if you got the most bid faction, but you like the value, it does feel like a little victory.
mm.
But yeah, and then the game went off. You ended up securing your points across like all bonus cards, scoring tiles, and everything. I feel like you kind of got a little bit of points from everywhere, and you ended up getting like a three-point victory here. So again, at a very strong
Yeah.
table. So that brought
Yeah,
you
I do.
to. Oh, sorry. So go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Like I do because you mentioned the town round as well. Like I do think I got a little. It's like I managed to pull off getting a town, maybe two towns in the town round, which was quite nice.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It makes a big and with
and that
Swarmlings,
just.
towns are like huge too. It's like you get the three workers with it
Mm,
too, and yeah. I think you
100%.
got Tukey Town in that game, right? I think you were probably first to town at
Yeah,
Swarmlings.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's the swing. And it's always nice to get the Tukey town in the Tukey Cup. So
Oh yeah, yeah. And in the first round, so far this is the fourth Tukey Cup we've done. Going into this celebrating just about a year of this, and planning to do four of them moving forwards per year. But yeah, so in the first round, the tiebreakers are such that it could be a relevant tiebreaker. It has not happened yet. We've come pretty close a couple of times, but it's basically whatever leftover resources you have uh, count towards like a partial point as a tiebreaker, and then beyond that, it's
mm,
just whoever took the two key cup. So the two key cup, yeah, the two key town. Uh, so yeah, it never hurts. But you won that game and you qualified for the finals. So, and I think you actually had the least time between games too. I think your game was maybe last to finish. I could be misremembering that. But I think you might have gone straight into the final game right after that. So
yeah, potentially. Yeah.
here is that setup. And let me just click into faction selection here. Um, so where are
I
we
might just
at?
turn my camera off as well. It's getting
Okay, yeah.
distracting.
Yeah, somehow I find it distracting too. Yeah, I'm not showing cameras on the recording either way,
Oh, okay.
but here's but you can still see my screen, yeah? The the
Yeah.
replay. Okay. So yeah, so I think I'll just click through. I'll start clicking through, and you can stop me at any time. But I'll ask you some stuff. You can talk about whatever you want,
Mm,
and we'll go through the whole game here for people to enjoy. Um, so first things
cool.
first, it looks like you were actually the one to put Alchemist into the auction in fourth seed. And do you want to talk about like your faction selection, your faction pick here, and why you put them in, and then how the auction went, and if you were happy with the
Y-
result?
Yeah, so my initial thinking was, so as EJ knows, I love Darklings and I go with them often. Um, but kind of I wanted to have a bit more, I don't know, fun, make it a bit more interesting in a way, put a bit more of a slightly swingy faction in. Yeah, so my initial thoughts were I don't want to have a game exactly the same as the previous one where I was going to play it really safe and go with a Swarmlings type faction. I feel like Darklings kind of sits on that side. So I was like, let's whack an Alchemist and see how it goes. And I could sort of see some lines for Alchemist, so I wasn't too unhappy with that thought.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great to me for them. I mean, you've got like really good early game options for like round two or round three. Stronghold looks pretty natural.
Mm.
In fourth seat, you could start on a variety of tiles. We'll talk about what you ended up going with here for a plan, which I think was perhaps unexpected for at least some of the players, certainly some of the spectators. And then I feel like round four digs never hurt for Alchemists either. Um, so I fit in some
Yeah,
workers, some repeated fire rewards, some workers off the cult rewards mid game. I feel like it looked like a pretty natural fit, and then all four of the bonus tiles with scoring on them. So yeah, I feel like
yeah,
it all looks pretty
yeah,
good
yeah,
to me.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And then so the auction, you went through with the auction, and did you do the similar thing you did in the first round? Were you like gunning for alchemists? Were you really hoping to land on them, or did you just kind of do? Yeah, what was your thought process there?
Yeah, no, so I was quite different with this. I was actually trying to bid what I thought the factions were worth this time. So just going a more kind of authentic approach. Um, Maybe because the field was like a little like yeah, like less slightly less high elo. Like there wasn't Mellison and Simone B, and I just thought I wanted to yeah to go for bid the factions as I thought best or thought was accurate to their true value. Um, so yeah, like I thought halflings were the best, and yeah, so I bid them the most, and then it was just a question of like valuing the other factions. So I thought halflings were the best because they've got inherent scoring, and there's the big building scoring round like right at the end, which isn't like a high scoring round in general, right? Because you can only build one or
Right,
two
right,
buildings.
yeah,
Yeah, so I thought that was really nice for halflings. And I also just thought they had quite a nice game plan as well. Like it was very natural for them to just kind of build out at the start and then kind of upgrade to a sanctuary in the middle game and then upgrade digs. So that was all just very smooth. Um, so yeah, I thought they were the best. Um, and then Auron and Chaos. So I just don't love Auron. Like even though I thought they're gonna do really well on the Colts, like I can see some kind of nice game plan for them. They just I just struggle to really get a lot of points with Auron, so I was kind of putting them quite far down in my mind. And also I was like looking at plans with Alchemists and I could see potentially going on B5 at the start, which is yeah.
B5.
I
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
hexes up, right? Yeah, yeah. So
Yes,
yeah,
the northern
uh,
hex right here. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So and like with Alchemist going there, it kind of does stop Auron from building yeah that town kind of through C4 to A10. So I didn't love that,
Right. Okay,
and
that makes sense.
yeah. So I think my kind of game plan for Alchemist affect the valuation of like Auron and Chaos. Um, because yeah, I really was kind of eyeing that up, and also by watching, I always as well like watch Mr. Fickles' videos on like
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
strategy.
his channel's so good.
Yeah, it's such a great like, um, yeah, it just gives you some ideas really and how to play against different factions and what the kind of swing factors are, that kind of thing. Um, So yeah, I really didn't know what to do with Auron and Chaos really because Alchemists going there really affect Chaos as well because you know they might not get B4 and if they don't get B4 and they also can't sort of um, find a path through the middle, they can't get to the east so easily. So yeah, I didn't love that for Chaos, even though I think Chaos can be quite a powerful faction.
Yeah,
Um,
that jumped out to me about the setup too, seeing Orin and Chaos. I feel like green and red on this map, you're always wondering who ends up with that kind of crucial middle hex there, E7, it looks like. Um,
100%,
and in
yeah.
this matchup, Orin were before Chaos and Seed Order, so they, in theory, had more of a crack at it, depending on how the bonus tiles and the upgrades kind of shook out. So I was sort of worried for Chaos here once we got through
Mm.
the betting. So let me go to the valuations here. Let's see, does this work? Did it work? There we go. Okay. So I think it'll show us the values. Do we have any sound here? Maybe a little bit of sound. Okay, so yeah, so you ended up on Alchemist at 40, and then Chaos and Orin both also at 40. And then Halflings, everyone seemed to agree was the best, 32. So
Mm.
um, so yeah, so for me, it's like looking at this, I was kind of worried for Chaos. Kind of in the whole
Yeah.
beginning of the game. Tesla ended up pulling off, I think, a really great game. We'll see how that all played out. But you
Mm.
mentioned the B4 hex up at the top here, and how there can be some tension there, or like certainly if alchemists start on B5, it can be tough for chaos magicians because of that B4 hex. That I
Mm.
want to get I want to hear your thoughts on that once we get into with the relevant round of the game here, and we'll talk more about that. But it seems to me that you sort of defended that hex a little bit early on, and so I want to
Yeah.
get to that when you because that was a really
Mm.
clever little play there. So those are the numbers coming out of the auction. Were you feeling pretty good on Alchemist at 40 here?
I was feeling okay. Actually, I wasn't that happy.
Okay.
I was like, "Oh, I should have bid more on halflings."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I really wanted halflings, and you know, getting alchemists at 40, I was like, "Oh, have I made a mistake as well? Like, are some of the other factions a bit better?" But I definitely didn't think it was a disaster or anything. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So not too bad. And then, so starting placements here. So you're in fourth seat. So from your perspective here, you get to watch these. Oops, yeah, these two placements go down because Chaos Magicians are in the game. And so you end up going E5 and B5, like you were talking about. So what was your main thinking there? You were sort of just avoiding the west of the map. At this point, did you already have a game plan for round one in mind pretty strongly?
I was actually torn, like even after the bids had finished, between because I'm first to pick the bonus tiles, like whether to take the priest and go for kind of two ship and get my dwellings out, or to take the spade because then kind of you got a guaranteed like hex and you don't have to upgrade shipping or anything like that. So yeah, I was sort of split between those two things, but yeah,
Did you
ended
give
up
any
with the
consideration to starting on the big building tile and just opening strongholds?
no, like none actually.
Really?
Yeah, I
Okay. Yeah,
think
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I yeah, I was just sort of yeah, I don't know. It feels like a risky play because you're not getting out loads of dwellings. I have done it before with alchemists, but I think I've only done it when it's also a big building scoring round as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. And I feel like priest production can certainly suffer that way.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also
the
getting out
the
of one.
yeah, and having the big building around three um, certainly gives you the opportunity to build a stronghold kind of at a maybe more natural time. But okay, interesting. So you were between spade and priest. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
so let's
also I'll just
see.
maybe say
Yeah, yeah,
like yeah, in my kind of thinking prior, like in the auction, I was thinking that Earth One was a guarantee because of Chaos and Auron fighting for that middle hex. So
right.
I was like, they're probably gonna throw a spade like early on. Like at least I'll be able to upgrade a trading post before everyone else has upgraded a trading post. So I'll have a rush on Earth One.
Got it.
Um,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
need that in the end at all, but yeah, that was just part of my thinking. As so Stronghold just wasn't on my mind. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So yeah, one way or another, you figure alchemists lock Earth 1 here if they open with the temple. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Okay, so you ended up going with the priest. Um, so skipping the spade, which I feel like I tend to think of at least as, or people tend to talk of a bit as, like the go-to in for like the assumption for fourth seed. So when you take the priest, that means that chaos magicians end up with access to the spade, or and take the big building tile, and then halflings, in what I thought was also a pretty interesting move, take the trading post tile with the worker on it. So some downstream
Ye-
effects there. Yeah. So you went with the
Yeah,
priest. So you were prioritizing getting out the dwellings. Was by shipping. Were any of the opening placements help you decide between the spade and the priest like you were talking about, or did you just kind of have to come down on one side?
it just happened to come down on one side. I
Okay.
think I did
Yeah.
factor in like chaos will end up with the spade, which might not be that good for them as well. So it's kind
Okay.
of like
Yeah. Yeah.
it sort of puts other people not in the best position, kind of as well. Um, yeah.
Totally.
In the end, it was time. Just I've got to pick something.
Yeah. 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 And so I think that can be the trouble with turn-based games too. If you've got, I've definitely in the past been in a place where I'm looking at a turn-based game and I'm having trouble deciding, and I like log off and I log back on. So yeah, some point you just got to decide. Um,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah. All right. So how at this point, how are you feeling? Is there anything else? Like at this point in the game, how were you feeling? Is there anything else you want to talk about before we start clicking through the first opening moves here?
Yeah, no. I think yeah, nothing else to add.
Cool. And I think one other thing that's interesting here is that, um, or I think it's interesting in this color wheel, halflings end up with no neighbor on the east of the map. Excuse me, I think I said west before. The east side of the map here. So at this point, you can be pretty confident that you're going to get some leech off of them in that center hex there.
Yeah, yeah, that is a good shout as well.
And indeed, they
Yeah,
do upgrade with their first action. Yeah.
mm, I did think that. Yeah, at least like I was hoping to get the priest action early on, but
Right.
that was washed pretty early. As we'll see. But at least like because of getting that power injection, then like I knew I had enough power to cover it.
Right. Right. So yeah. So then Orin do use the one power they got from halflings to snag the single dig right away for that key middle hex. And now Chaos Magicians in this position do decide to take the priest action. So that must have felt not great with your plan.
Yeah, not ideal. Yeah.
But it makes sense. I mean, once they take the priest, a priest to fire looks nice, but also with the spade in hand, I feel like it's a little bit foreseeable that they would now want to do some shipping so they can use the spade on something that isn't a triple dig. So
Yeah, I did think they might want to go for a bridge though as well. To
yeah,
see.
that would make sense. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, there was some talk among spectators about that being their best line potentially. So when they took the priest, you were thinking maybe priest to fire and a bridge.
Yeah, yeah, potentially. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're gonna need that bridge anyways, you assume, if that becomes their sanctuary. You think it's probably gonna be a sanctuary town. So yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
But in any case, you don't get the priest. So
yeah.
at this point, you're up. You choose to upgrade, and at this point, you know that if you need the 5 power priest, you will have that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's nice. Um,
I think also just to say, like
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of going back as well, but about the bonus time choosing the priest in this kind of line is it like you have a slightly longer round, um,
right.
and I was like because a lot of the good bonus tiles are obviously taken like on the first round. I think sometimes like I quite like having a long round because then you can often like jump onto one of the good bonus tiles, like maybe the spade or maybe the big building.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, as we'll come to see, that did that did come to pass, if I'm not mistaken. And
Mm,
yeah, a couple of things I want to say about that. One is I feel like for alchemists looking at this, that's like um, kind of ideal because a lot of times as other factions, sometimes you can say, okay, what I want is to get out of this round for double dig round two, and I want those 7 coins or something like that. Sometimes there are some desirable bonus tiles for round two where either being the like kind of first to pass or last to pass is good.
mm,
I think, or being second or third to pass not as much necessarily. But in this case, as alchemists, like really all the tiles you want are folks are already occupying for the most part. So that makes a lot of
mm,
sense.
mm.
In any case,
Yeah, yeah,
halflings end up double digging, and it becomes clear why they wanted that extra worker. I thought that was again a really clever play from Deranged here.
yes.
You don't see people starting on the trading post tile too often. Just for the worker, but I feel like it was kind of worked out perfectly here. But what it means is that you get a little bit of extra leech here too, because F3 gets built,
Mm, that's true. Yeah.
which you accept. And yeah, so just stop me if anything comes up where you wanna chat. But
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
basically
like the
this
only thing
big
was I was
power
looking at
limit.
Halfling's game and I was like, oh, they are smashing it. Like, oh, yeah,
Starting to get that envy, that halflings envy.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I was thinking the same thing in following along with this game. Is that halflings looked really really nice to start here. They got double dig. They're getting out their dwellings, in the dwellings around as well, and they're just getting a ton of leech. I love that center hexus brown on this map.
Yeah, and I just thought like I think this ends up happening. Just they can get a priest to air potentially to get a nice sort of second round
Right, right. Yeah, they just have a
because
lot
they
of.
start on one air. Yeah.
And like you said, with the inherent scoring, I mean, at this point, they're 10 points behind everyone else. That's nothing. So with inherent
Mm,
scoring and round 4 digs, yeah, definitely was looking pretty nice for halflings here.
mm, mm.
So you lock in Earth 1, um, like you were talking about here. And at this point, the rest of your round's pretty scripted, right? I don't know if you gave any consideration to passing early for any reason, but at this point, you've got a priest in hand, the ability to convert for another priest and two workers that you want to turn into dwellings, right?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. No, I was just kind of playing it out really. Now I
Yeah.
think it was just very yeah set.
And then everybody opens with, excuse me, with some temples here. I'm trying to like adjust my screen so we can kind of see favorite tiles a little
Yeah,
better. I'm not sure how well this is working, but we'll give it a go.
yeah.
Just like, just
Yeah, it
want it
seems
to
to
work
kind of pop
a
up.
little better, but can't have it perfect. Anyways, okay. So what we're looking at is, oh, maybe I can zoom out or zoom in. Who can say? All right, we've got we've got favorite tiles. Pardon my. All right, here we go. So you can see you're actually the only one who pulls a scoring favor round one. Everyone else goes for income favors. So we've got halflings take Earth 2, Orin take Fire 1, and then Chaos Magicians take Earth 2 and Fire 1.
Mm,
And like you say, at this point, you're just kind of playing out your round. So definitely, again, stop me at any time here. Orin are the first to pass onto coins. No surprise there. I will say, halflings, I was kind of having a lot of the same thoughts you were having about halflings looking pretty nice. I thought Orin also had a pretty explosive start here. You can see they're kind of in position to secure the center of
yeah.
town with a
By the end of round one,
heap
I thought everyone had a
resources.
great looking game as well. I
Yeah,
really like what Chaos did as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So we'll
Um,
see that. So
I,
you managed to go B3 to up here. I'm guessing that's because you're expecting Chaos Magicians to once they engage
yeah,
here. Yeah, so you get a nice like a little bit extra leech off of them there.
exactly.
So this is one of those things where, for anyone watching who's still coming up and learning the game a bit, it's so great to watch this high level play. I think it's such a treat to watch these games because so many little decisions like that, you can just see the extra thought that goes into it. Like you had two options to build. You could have built B3 or C1, and you got built on the one that's going to give you just a little bit more leech, which can make that much of a difference. And then if I can get BJ's replays to cooperate here, it would be a real shame if BJ crashed while we were trying to record this, but that's not really within our
Yeah.
control. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong button. I think that's part of what's happening. Okay. All right, we got it now. And then
Nice.
along similar lines, C1, you build C1, and then you know, it's foreseeable that chaos magicians could come over there next too. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that was the thought process.
so it's some of those little decisions that can make a really big difference. So but yeah, like you said, it's everyone looked like they had a pretty nice game going after round one, and I feel like that's to me so much of a treat to get to watch these high level games. Um, so
Mm,
often that's the case because everyone finds a way. It's such strong players. So.
mm.
In any case, so you are last to pass, like you were talking about earlier. How it could be kind of nice to have a long round, and you got the spade sitting there for you. So was that
Yeah.
you must have been pretty excited to see that?
Yeah, yeah. Very happy to see that. I think probably, yeah, probably the optimal one to get.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would have been your top choice, you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because like, there's always a chance that I'll get the like I always like the big building kind of one with the alchemist just to get the workers in. But
Definitely.
like, there's a chance of getting that the round after with the big building scoring and getting
Yeah,
the stronghold. So yeah.
totally. All right, so now we're into round two. So at this point, what are you thinking? What are you looking at, and what's your plan for this round?
Yeah.
If
So
you remember, I will say. I know this happened over the course of the last month, so
say again, sorry.
I will say if you remember, I'm talking about it like this happened
Yeah,
yesterday. This
yeah,
did happen over the course of the past
yeah,
30 days. So.
gotcha. Yeah, I'm not actually so sure. So I'm last to play a move here. Um, like I think I'm just focusing on getting out dwellings, basically. That's like
Yeah,
my number one kind of goal. And yeah, I've already got two shipping, so I know I'm gonna get A8. Um, but yeah, I think I mean we can play it out. I was really surprised looking at the replay because I think I upgraded digs here as well. Um,
yes. That was the unconventional move that I noticed, probably of the game, but certainly from your
mm,
game here. Um, so you get, I will say, halflings upgrade in the center again because they have no neighbor in the east of the map, so they're going for another temple, and that's kind of nice for you here too. And your first move you upgraded dig. So when this happened, I was kind of following along pretty closely with the game over the finals. Like I said, I didn't really follow around along with round one because there's four different games, but the finals I
yeah.
always enjoy watching. So my read
Yeah,
on this was I was assuming when you saw Chaos Magicians on one ship with a bunch of workers and looking at their power, I was assuming you were doing that to defend B4.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is so interesting.
I just was like I was thinking like B4 is such a kind of important hex for me to get because like there's not many other ways to kind of connect really, even though alchemists are so good at connecting. Like if that gets taken, like C4 is gonna go to Oran. Um and then I'm not going to get like a kind of like a connected town through A8. um yeah, and there's just like not another way to connect, so
Yeah,
I was a bit sort of paranoid about chaos kind of like coming over, getting ship and taking that hex. So yeah, I sort of like tried to put the brakes on it by almost signaling to them like you know don't take it, but it was expensive. I'm not sure that's optimal play, to be honest.
well, I think it's really interesting, and I think it's also I feel like we'll watch it play out. I feel like it had the exact intended effect because I don't know were you thinking about what chaos would do otherwise? What were you or were you basically just saying like I need that hex because you end up being able to. I mean, we assume you're gonna upgrade digs by round four anyways, and you end up being able to kind of do everything you want to do this round anyways.
Yeah, that's a good point. yeah, maybe there wasn't much else for me to kind of do. I don't think I was too conscious about like what chaos would do kind of otherwise as well, or what their
Okay.
other game plan is. But I just wanted to yeah send that
Yeah,
message, I think.
yeah, because at this point you've got basically a spade. You're on the spade bonus tile, and you've got the two workers in hand. So if you wanted to, you could dig that. You could certainly dig it brown, but you could even
Mm.
dig it black if you needed to. So,
Mm.
well, let's watch it play out because I think this works out kind of beautifully for you. You end up getting power from halflings in the middle, and then because chaos magicians aren't going to be shipping up to B4 here, even if they wanted to, you've defended that by threatening it. They end up going to D3, which gives you power, and now
Mm.
you've got just enough power that you can do more stuff this round if you want. So I don't know. I thought it worked out really nicely.
Yeah, yeah. No, that did work out. That did work out well.
But in any case, halflings throw the priest to air, just like you were talking about last round, looking really nice for them. Um, Orin are getting out a lot of dwellings and structures this round. They have their center town carved out. They're shipping down to the south. They're shipping up to the north. Um,
Yeah, I like the look of like Oren and what they were doing as well. Like it was quite nice that they were going to get clearly the stronghold in the middle, two key town, and do kind of Oren type things.
it seems like, yeah, it seems like just about as good a start as they could hope for here. It was definitely a very like what am I trying to say? Like an explosive start. I mean, this is round two, and they've already got like look at how many structures they've got out.
Mm,
So, so anyways, you choose to use the spade on D2 here. Um, any comments on that,
mm.
or just sort of
I
building
think
towards
I
that
think just more
town?
leads coming in from Chaos as well. I
Right,
quite
right.
like.
You know, you're going to get some power from them.
Yeah, yeah,
Makes
exactly.
sense. Yeah, looking very nice there, and there it is. And now you get your first workers action. And you didn't get a workers action in the first round, right? Or did you?
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think
No,
so,
because
right? Because you took the two
I
priests.
converted to a priest. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. That's a theme. I did look at the stats after the game. It looks like you got quite a few. We'll see those come through.
Yeah.
Um, so Orn are just kind of building out more structures here,
I think
and
this is also influenced
yeah,
by Mr. Pickles, just to say with the power action. Like he sort of really rated the power action, like at the start, like the workers' power action. And I kind of had that in mind as well. Like it's
use
like
that talk
it's-
about Fickle's videos.
yeah, like I don't know if it was on his video, but I heard him say it, and I just rate his opinion quite a
Yeah.
lot. And
Oh,
I think
totally.
he said
Yeah.
like he thought it was an underrated thing that people don't go for the workers' power action.
Okay, interesting. So you
Maybe
had his
don't.
voice in your head a little bit when you were
Yeah,
making it come
yeah,
through.
for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice. Well, yeah. Speaking of workers, you do manage to pass on to the big building tile too, going to the big building round. So was that were you angling for that at all, or did that sort of just happen? And were you excited to see it?
Yeah, definitely, like definitely wanted to get on that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, extra workers like wanted to build like at least one big building. So, I don't know how much I sort of strategically planned to get on it, given what other people were doing, but definitely pleased to get on it.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, hard to say, but I mean, it looked. It certainly worked out nicely. I'm not sure if it was really plannable or not, but yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And then Orin have like exactly the resources they need for a trading post. So this is, I mean, this is a pretty
Yeah,
insane start for them here. Um,
yeah, that looked really, really nice.
and passing on to, yeah, I assume the spade. So at this point, or yeah, Orin looking pretty scary. I mean, at this point, I was sort of imagining that Orin were gonna like build all their structures or something crazy. Because I mean, like just like look where they started, and like you said, they're about to get the two key town probably, and yeah.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
all right, but you're in the big on the big building tile, going into the big building round, and we've got some folks with some cold spades. Uh, and yeah, here you are. So you've got your 10 workers and a priest in hand, basically. So you mentioned wanting to build at least one big building this round. What were you thinking at this point, or what was the game plan? What was the priority?
Yeah, I think this is where this is where I got a bit lost, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
I had I've got quite a lot of resource in a way because obviously with Alchemist you can generate coins. Um, and I was kind of split between wanting to do two different things. Like I didn't know whether to kind of upgrade digs, like definitely defend B4 and maybe get a couple of workers out and just get my stronghold out only. So the stronghold was a guarantee. Like I was always going to get the stronghold, I think,
Okay.
in this round.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just to get that, yeah, that coin income generation for alchemists. And I don't want to continually be burning points for coins.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think even we maybe like because you messaged about potentially doing a like this, like an interview, or
Yeah, yeah.
an
I
interview.
basically I messaged all the finalists, being like, "Hey, if you would you be willing to do this video if you won?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, I'd be happy to do it. Like, yeah, the kind of like, I've lost track of this game or something a bit. I don't know. I think my spirits were down. I don't know if it was at this point exactly or a bit
I
later on,
I feel
but
like it was right around this point, yeah, because I remember having the impression like, oh, Locky doesn't feel so great about his game right now, but I thought it looked
yeah,
pretty nice. I mean, yeah, I guess, but choosing your direction at this point, when you have so many options, is both very difficult and very important, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I think I just ended up getting the stronghold to kind of keep my options open in a way.
right,
I
because
think
then
that
once you
was
build the
really
stronghold,
the
you get
thing.
that initial influx of power too. So at that point, you've got decisions on what power actions, whether to do power actions, etc.
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually did not factor that into my like I forgot that you got that power
Oh
with
no.
so
Well, it works out.
I
I feel like everyone's got some of those, even if they've played a lot of this game. For me, it's like if I build
yeah
the Orin Stronghold, it's like, what favorite tile do you want? And I'm like, oh my god, I get a favorite tile with this building,
yeah
which is like
yeah
half the point, but I still somehow forget. Yeah.
100%. That is for me as well with Swarmlings getting a
Uh,
town. It's like, oh, I got three more
Yep,
workers.
exactly. Exactly. It's like, oh wow, that's a nice little bonus. Oh, that's
Yeah.
too funny. Okay, so you ended up in. I mean, you ended up in a pretty good position. Your power, you have a lot of power to gain here, so it works out. But that's too funny. Yeah, I feel
Mm.
like we've all got those. Um, okay, so there's some other stuff happening. We'll just don't want to totally
Yeah,
breeze
I
over the other
think I
players'
was quite
games.
pleased to see what Chaos were doing. I just really
Yeah,
like that they were building around that dwelling as well. So there's a lot of
totally.
free leech coming in.
A
Yeah.
lot of free power coming in.
Mm.
Meanwhile, Orin secured the two key town, score the score their stronghold in the big building round, and so they've got cult steps for the rest of the
Mm.
game.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
in chaos, yeah, chaos getting out managed to get double dig here is what they do. So they dig B2 halfway, I guess, and then G1. Did they
Hmm.
have? I think they had a cult spade. Did they have a cult spade? No, no. I guess they just dug those two hexes. So yeah, they're starting to, like you say, they're basically cut off from the other side of the map, but they're starting to build down that way.
Yeah.
And halflings have upgraded their digs halfway at this point. Okay, so you build the stronghold, and whether you're planning it or not, you do get power. So your power fills up here.
Yeah. I maybe did think about it. I think, yeah, just as I built the strong, like just before I built it, it wasn't like a complete surprise because I
Totally,
did
totally.
think about using double dig. I thought that would have been quite nice, but then that got taken, yeah, by chaos.
Right.
So I remember that I was sort of a move behind there. Yeah.
So yeah, they secure that, and then they're building down that way towards I5. And at this point, I mean, Orin, you talked about Orin looking like they were going to dominate the Colts this game, but Chaos managed to get a pretty good start too. They've sort of picked their cults here. They're on the 0 step of 2 cults, and they're up towards the top of 2 others, with a bunch of cult
That's
rewards
true.
coming in. So I thought that was
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
pretty
true.
nice for them. And then
The only
here
thing,
again, I just clicked over it prematurely, but you take the workers action for the second time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that was I'd lost the opportunity of the double dig there. Yeah, I think I also felt it was a bit unraveling my game slightly because I was like, oh, I would have sent the priest to the 3 spot on water, which would have been quite nice.
Okay.
It would go
Yeah,
for a while,
yeah,
but then Oren took that. So it's one of these things where you keep your options open by say doing something, but in a way by having that slight delay to keep your options open, you kind of miss the optimal path sometimes because, maybe I should have thrown that priest to cults had I known what
totally,
was going to happen before.
totally.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, now you've got 6 workers, a priest. That 3 spot is no longer open. Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, I guess like I'm thinking now what to do with these workers, what to do with the priest. And yeah, I think I choose to upgrade digs. I'm not sure what I do. Maybe I upgrade digs because I've got the workers and I want to prep for the dig round.
Yeah, I know you do upgrade digs. I don't remember if it happened next or not. But yeah, at this
Mm,
point, halflings have upgraded their digs all the way in advance of the dig round, and I think they just wanted to make sure to secure G2. They wanted to make sure nothing happened to their center town, so that's what they're up to.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Chaos magicians first out of the round. What do? They get coins, which is they're sitting on a boatload of resources. Yeah, so you upgrade digs next. Yep. And
Yeah.
so you're fully upgraded. I thought that
Yeah.
round 2 dig upgrade was like so unconventional and so clever, and it just seemed like it worked out so well. So, anyways, I thought that was a very cool play.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheers.
And
I think
halflings. Oh, sorry. Say that again.
no, like yeah, just with that, I think yeah, there was some good rationale for it, but yeah, I think it's one of these things where yeah, I'm not sure how the opportunity cost lands, but yeah, it's cool
Right.
to do an unconventional play and for it to come off for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah. No, I don't think there really was an opportunity cost because since you had the well, I don't know what else you could have done with those 2 workers because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you didn't have any other hexes available. You had the spade in hand, I think, or I
that's
maybe I misremembered. But anyways, I thought it was great.
no, that's true. That's
Um,
true.
so here you are. You got 4 workers. You want to talk us through what you're up to next?
Oh yeah, I mean, so I think I was slightly kicking myself here in the fact that I'd got the stronghold. So I was thinking of getting the sanctuary really, just because I'm on the big building bonus tile as well, and it'd also be nice to secure water one.
Right.
Just really want to get those points favor tiles as alchemists. So yeah, it seemed quite natural to upgrade to the sanctuary, but like having sort of done this now, like got the sanctuary, it would have been better to have first got water one and then upgraded the stronghold rather than the other way around to
Oh, I
get the two
see. I
points
see.
in.
Oh, yeah. So that's just plus 3 points. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Interesting. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. 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 That makes
Yeah.
sense. But I
So it's
mean,
one
but
of those
this
like
this way you had you got to threaten double dig. You were thinking about doing that with the power. You had
true,
like it makes sense. It's not like
true.
you would have necessarily, but yeah, I see what you're saying in retrospect. Plus 3 points.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, I think I
Um,
cut you off there. What were you saying?
Oh no, no, no. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, maybe I had a loose thought. Like, yeah, it was just interesting that I think because I felt my play hadn't been like that well, perfectly planned, etc., that my game was probably worse than it actually was at this point. Um, yeah, it's just interesting to reflect on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I
Mm.
mean, you get the sanctuary down. You secure water one. And yeah, at this point, it's funny because you spread out so quickly, and now with the 2 big buildings this round, your game suddenly looks a little bit more tall. You've got like you went into this round with what you had 10 workers. with
Yeah.
your workers. So you had like basically 12 workers this round, and now you're looking at going to next round with 5, which is like
Yeah.
very different situation.
Yeah, true, true. Um, yeah, and it kind of was, yeah, I was sort of slightly torn as well, I think, at points because you also want to keep your workers for the dig round if you're trying to sort of go for that strat as well, and I'd upgraded dig, so
Right.
yeah, it's interesting.
I
Like,
feel like more and more. I mean, I'm like about as big of a halflings fan as there can be. I love playing halflings. I love them on this map in particular. In particular, and I feel like round 4 digs are like a thing, right? For like halflings, alchemists, swarmlings, sometimes other factions, but like typically those are like the factions you upgrade digs with. And I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to come around to the sense that it might be a little bit overrated. Like just throwing workers at the ground for points at that stage in the game can sometimes work out, but
interesting.
I don't know. I feel like more often than not, it's like, you know, getting like 3 or 4 digs rather than like 10 or 12 digs. Usually fits into the game plan a little more seamlessly.
Hmm.
So,
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, you could be right there.
but
Mm.
anyway, so you basically you went this route at the time. You went with the sanctuary instead of holding a bunch of workers in reserve to build out digs and dwellings. And you, it sounds like you were just kind of kicking yourself a little bit at the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, like yeah. Like overall I think it's still playable game, basically.
Certainly, and you pass for 8 points, which always feels good.
Yeah, for
And you
sure.
get onto another bonus tile that you're going to be able to make a
Yeah,
lot of points off of.
that's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to see as Alchemist for sure.
Yeah, I thought you had really nice. Yeah, your like timing seemed really great throughout a lot of the game here, where you landed on a ton of really good bonus tiles, got a bunch of points
Mm.
off of them. Yeah, and then Orin are just continuing to take actions after everybody else is out. So yeah, they're up on all the cults. They've got a ton of structures out. They've already got their 2 key town.
Yeah, and I
More
think
cult
that is
lords
just
coming
really
in.
good. Like the fact that like the Tiki town, it just allows you to get to that 10 spot. So I feel like Chaos are doing very well on the Colts, but you're also a bit limited because of the just sheer number of keys.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, and
I think
Chaos's town prospects look a little bit limited at this point. You can see, you can see how towns would come about, but they're not very close to any of them.
yeah, yeah, for
Still a
sure.
ways off.
I often do like a double bridge with Chaos, which I'm not sure is the most efficient,
Oh,
but
interesting. Like it's
kind of
like up to the C2 and then D3 here, this kind of zone.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So I
that
was
makes
almost
sense.
like looking at that, being like, are they gonna one town? But probably, yeah, probably the fact they've dug B2 as well, then they're gonna go for
Yeah,
two
I guess
separate
at this
towns. So.
point they've kind of telegraphed that, but
Mm.
they're pretty vulnerable. I mean, you've got upgraded digs. Halflings don't look like they're going to be shipping that far up anytime soon, but they've got upgraded digs. So yeah,
Mm.
I mean, it looks. I'd be a little bit scared as chaos magicians here, being like, it's like you've got them surrounded almost, you know.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So, but okay, so here's the round 4 dig round. So at this point, you're on the shipping scoring tile, which is great. And
Yeah.
what else? At this point, you've thrown no priest cults. You're basically at the bottom of all the cults. You've
Yeah.
secured your scoring favors. You've upgraded your digs. You're like in position to do a bunch of stuff, basically. How do you decide what to do first? What to do next?
Ooh. Don't know. Like maybe we'll see what I did first, and I'll
Okay,
sort of
cool. But
retro.
as far as you remember, there was no particular like, oh, I need to get this. I need to do that.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I
so
I did
looks like you
want to
upgraded
get to the
shipping
east though.
first. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So okay, I see. The first thing you did this round was upgrade shipping to 3. So yeah, you're headed for this eastern
yeah.
town area.
I was sort of hoping that halflings would prioritize connecting through the south if they could, like rather than just coming over to the east and digging all of that up.
Right.
Uh, I think that's what I was hoping. So I
Which
really wanted to
makes
get to
sense. Yeah.
F7. Yeah.
F7. Okay, I see. Because that would be that gets you the town. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes
exactly.
sense. Yeah, and I feel like that makes sense as halflings too. Like you would, it's not i- if halflings can do some shipping and digging this round, then they have the hope of a third town. Otherwise, they may not have that option really.
Mm.
Uh, so, and they've got a bunch of coins. I think they
I
took the
think I
coin
did.
section.
Oh,
I don't
I'm
know.
not sure
But
actually.
anyways, what we were talking about your game. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, no, it's all right. It's good to talk about other people as well. But yeah, E9. I was really thinking about digging up um Oren's hex there.
E9. Oh, I see. You could just cut right through. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't have to upgrade shipping or anything. I could maybe throw a priest to a cult or do something else with that. I guess I'm on the shipping bonus tile, so I probably would upgrade shipping.
Right.
But yeah, I
Makes
just thought
sense.
that was like a quick route, and it would sort of screw them up a little bit.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Basically kills a town that they would probably otherwise have.
yeah, exactly. But then I don't know. It's like by sort of yeah, screwing them up a little bit, you kind of potentially hamper yourself as well because you don't have the neighbors there and they're not building around you as well and
Right.
that kind
Makes
of thing.
sense.
So yeah,
So you
sort of fell
chose to
into
play
that.
friendly and have this sort of
Yeah,
symbiotic thing going on, rather. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like you say,
yeah,
you're on the shipping tile anyways, so I guess getting to 3 ship to hit this eastern brown hex
yeah,
here is pretty natural too. So that makes sense.
yeah,
I feel like following along in this game, I didn't necessarily see that town space, but it seems like you really saw that and then prioritized it. And as we'll see,
oh yeah,
halflings do upgrade their shipping, so they're focusing on other things while you sneak to the east.
yeah, that was quite nice. Though Chaos did build E2 and that did take me slightly by surprise actually. So I think they
Okay.
burned a lot of workers to do that.
Yeah, I feel like they had, I think last round was the fireworkers. Yeah, I feel like they just did a bunch of hard digging this round, right? Like 3 worker digs. Let's see. Yeah, 6 workers to transform
Yeah,
that hex. It's
yeah,
yeah, it's
that's quite
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah. I guess they feel pretty
And
confident in that they're going to get that town. So, but it's a big investment.
yeah, and like it also does it like, allows them to get to that gray like oh, I don't know, like they could have dug F2 as well. Like um yeah. Yeah, it was a big investment.
Yeah.
I mean I definitely had my eye on that hex, like
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
makes it
So
makes sense. Yeah, I mean, if that was their plan, I guess they're probably pretty relieved that you made a beeline for the east rather than focusing on that one.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
probably breathing a sigh of relief there. But I mean, it also sets them up to pass really early this round. Like everyone has a lot of stuff left to do. I mean, I guess your resources don't really show that you have a lot of stuff to do, but it's clear that you're alchemists and you can still do stuff. Um,
Mm,
but they're going to be able to pass out of this round quickly, which I think ends up looking really nice for them because of this bonus tile. So the trading post tile has been unoccupied since halflings sort of unorthodox round one using it, and so they're going to get if they can get onto that next round scores for trading
mm,
posts. They need trading posts for their town or towns anyways. They get 3 coins off it. Like that ends up looking really nice for them. So I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe that was part of a factor in their dig, but certainly six
Mm,
workers for one dig is nothing to sneeze at.
mm.
So
Yeah, no, that makes sense as well. Yeah.
in any case, everyone has some stuff. Oh, and actually, yeah, it looks like Chaos Mistresses do just pass immediately for that. So, um,
Yeah.
and yeah, at this
No,
point,
that's
they look kind of trapped where they are. It looks like they have one or maybe two kind of red hexes left available to them because you've got everything else covered here. So, okay, so at this
mm,
point, yeah, anything else stick out to you from this round? You mentioned just wanting to get to F7, right? So you're just building towards that. Looks like.
yeah. I mean I could see people were sort of fighting on the cults and that kind of thing and I half had in mind should I should I sort of get involved with that, get a priest and I think part of my early strategy was just like let's let everyone else fight it out on the cults and I'll just try and win network and get other points elsewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense. Okay, so yeah, at this
Yeah.
point you're you're headed for F7 here.
Yeah.
And Orin do something else kind of unexpected. They spend 6 workers of their
Yeah.
own to dig on I7. Is that something that you saw coming, or were you surprised by that in the game?
I was surprised. Yeah. You know what? I think I was so focused on my own game that I didn't see that when it happened. But then, sort of like later, I was like,
Like
okay,
what?
wow, like
Yeah.
yeah, I know, yeah, yeah, exactly. So, um, yeah. How much did they spend? Did they spend 9 workers? Did you say?
They ended up upgrading digs halfway, and then spending
Oh
basically
yeah,
all of their remaining workers, 6 workers to dig it,
6 workers.
plus one
Yeah,
worker. Yeah. So I mean, it guarantees them a town. And once I saw that, I sort of assumed that they were gonna end up upgrading all the way to carve out their third town in the east. But as we'll see, I think that doesn't end up happening. So
yeah. No, it's an interesting play, and I think it does affect halflings. I guess this was a bit of a game balancing move in a way.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and that's actually, I guess that is a pretty big blow for halflings. Huh? So they can still like connect on E8, but they no longer have the town option in the south. So
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Mm.
and so Orin do end up passing on to the big building tile, which I think you would have loved to get back onto for the
Yeah,
next round if you could have. I'm guessing, but you and
yeah, yeah,
halflings are still got workers in hand, still in the dig round, so still digging.
yeah. Just building out.
Yeah, and so you tap
I,
before to dig it halfway.
yeah.
And oh, I should have. I don't think we mentioned this, but I think I clicked past it. But you do take the workers action this round as well. So so we're on 3.
Yeah.
Just to spoil it, you do end
Wow.
up taking 5 workers actions this game, which is just amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
All
That's
right, one more dig here. You
yeah, I
dig
think I'm just
A7.
delaying here, like just to get a good just to
Excuse
get
me.
on the bonus tile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So halflings pass off of the dwelling scoring, so that gives you the opportunity to pass on to it for a nice
Yeah.
9 points. So at this point, you're going into the last 2 rounds, and your points are looking nice. Like you have nothing going on the Colts, but you've got 74 points in hand, and you're kind of set up to score this round certainly really well with what looks like hopefully certainly 3 towns. Um,
Mm.
so do you remember how were you feeling at this point? Were you feeling pretty confident, or were you feeling at least a little better than you were earlier on when you sort of didn't love your game?
Yeah, I don't know really. I think like I was happy to be on the dwellings scoring and that I could build out a few more dwellings. Yeah, B4 is like perfectly covered now. I think I was feeling okay and just a bit relieved that I had more of a like a linear kind of plan. There was no big decisions like there was in round 3. So yeah, it was just a case of like let's play it out, see how it goes, sort of
Right.
thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. So we're into a trading post round, and I think it looks like there were no trading posts on the board going into this round. I think between all 4 of you, you build out a good number. So I might breeze through this round a little bit because I think I'm actually
Mm.
running a little bit low on time at this point. So,
Yeah, sure.
but a worker's action is taken. It's taken by you. Um,
Yeah, that's a classic.
So
Um,
securing more and more. And yeah, so I mean, for this round, anything you do gets you points. Basically, you got trading posts for 6 points as long as you have coins. You got any dwellings you build to keep your worker production up. Those are still 2 points for you too with your favorite tiles. So I feel like you're kind of,
mhm.
and you're on the, you get points for dwellings when you pass. So I feel like you're playing it out.
Yeah,
You're in a pretty nice spot here.
that's true. I think like it gives you a lot of flexibility. Like, I was like, okay, I could build dwellings, I'm getting a lot of points for those, or I could build trading posts, I'm getting a lot of points for those kind of thing. Like just trying to make a nice balanced economy going into
Yeah.
the last round.
Sure. And you finally secure your connection there. So you are on B4, you're connected, you got your town space carved out. It's the only way someone could mess with your town space is that D1 hex at this point. but it doesn't really look like anyone has the interest or means to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that that was like not gonna be a high priority for anyone else.
Yeah,
Just because Oren like aren't in range and
totally. And what are you doing? And then you throw a priest to your first priest to cult, your first and maybe only. I don't remember priest to cult here
yeah,
for
potentially.
on water, which is nice because I mean that gets you a spade. It's basically like a free worker, and at this point you're in second place on that cult pretty easily.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was happy to like give that cult to Oren, like anyway, even if I was on the third spot, I thought I wouldn't win it. So yeah, I was just happy to get to that fourth spot and get a free spade.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I thought
like
that was
it's
very nice.
nice. Yeah, and just having that town in the east, I just thought was quite nice because that's like a completely protected hex in the east.
Yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
have to worry
exactly.
about.
You've got it surrounded. You can let that
Yeah.
hang as long as you need. It's very
Yeah,
nice.
so I think I used the spade on D1 just to further kind of de-incentivize chaos from taking that hex.
Right,
So
right.
just shoring everything up.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, and Chaos Magicians, I don't know if they got the coins action or what, but I think they basically just built out 4 trading posts this round for, six, essentially 8 points apiece. So that was they were all in on that this round. That seemed to be their plan here. And everyone's just kind of upgrading. And yeah, look at this. So we went into the round with no trading posts on the board, and now there's, everyone's got like 3 or 4 basically at this point. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so going into the last round here, Chaos Magicians once again first to pass, and they claim yet another bonus tile, another scoring tile here. Um, So this is actually more recent. This would have been within the last like week or couple of days or something like that. At this point, do you remember what was going through your head? Were you, I mean, you've got plenty of really good things to do this round, but also passing on to a useful bonus tile in the last round could be key and often is key in these type of scenarios. Plus, you have a bunch of towns coming in, but so do other folks. How did you prioritize? What are you thinking about at this point in the game? Because there's a
So
lot going on. I will say this end game got pretty nutty.
yeah, so this is just where like kind of life was taking over a bit for me. Like real like
Yeah,
normal life was kind
yeah.
of taking over.
Not
So
non
I
Terra Mystica
was
life. Yeah,
yeah. So I was like it is kind of a weird one with the clock as well. Like I can be a relatively slow player in games, especially when I really want to think about it. And my clock was like below the threshold, and I know that's like, as in I'd run out of time, on BGA, and I know that's
yes,
fine because we're sort of you're factoring that in the tournament that people are on different time zones. But
yeah.
I think
Essentially, you ended up in a unfortunate situation where you were the one who it was like 5 to 8 hours ahead of everyone else's time zone. Everyone else is basically North America, it looks like. So once
yeah,
you go to bed, they all make moves, and then the clock just goes on your turn every like
yeah,
on your what's it
throughout
called
my
on your
night,
timer every time you're in bed. So it's tough, but yeah,
yeah,
that's why we set it up that way. It's basically the games can only last for 30 days, unfortunately, because BGA just terminates it after 30 days. That's the slowest timer you can do. But we set it up so that, uh, y- you know, anyone can go over time as long as the game finishes within time. So things worked out perfectly this time. The game still wrapped up well within 30 days. But yeah, I got to figure that was a little bit stressful still seeing your negative timer going.
yeah, yeah. So there was a few times that I woke up in the morning and I was like, okay, I need to play a move before before kind of going to work and things like that. So like yeah, I didn't sort of think so strategically. I mean, one thing I was thinking here was that I just had in mind coins are going to be good for me. Points bonus cards are going to be good for me. Tiles are going to be good for me as well. So I don't know. I was kind of looking at the bonus tiles and thinking it's not essential that I'm really strategic in getting on a points bonus tile.
Yeah.
Um, probably
Yeah,
would
and
have been
that
more optimal to delay a bit, but
well,
yeah.
it stuck out as I was actually of all people one of the spectators I was chatting with for this game was Mr. Fickles, who you mentioned earlier, and
Uh-huh.
Fickles and I both. What just happened was that in this position, Orin had their turn. Both of you were left in the round. Both of you are on scoring bonus tiles. Orin took the priest to try to delay and end up on your tile. We both expected that you were going to be taking the priest to try to do the same. Um, so at
Mm.
this point, that was I feel like that was the option that you had was either to delay with the priest or I guess maybe with just with a dig. I'm not sure delay somehow. Um, but so you're saying like you sort of figured one way or another. There's coins on the tiles. It doesn't matter that much. You got to make a
Yeah,
decision.
I think if like retrospectively I thought, oh, that was a mistake. Like I should
Okay.
have prioritized delaying. Yeah, but I just think because I wasn't thinking too hard about it. Yeah, paying too much attention because I'd kind of decided anything was going to be okay. Yeah, I just didn't look at it too hard really.
Okay.
Um,
Got it.
yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, I will say, we're having this conversation. It certainly worked out. And what you end up doing is passing on the spade here, which is 4 coins for
Mm,
alchemist. That's often 4 points, and a worker
yeah.
basically because you've got your digs upgraded. And crucially, you end up being able to upgrade your fourth trading post. So you really end up being able to maximize that last round in doing what you did.
Mm,
So I mean, who's to say it would have even been? It could have been worse if you had delayed. So,
true. Yeah.
but Orin, as they have a couple times this game, just continuing to take actions after everybody has passed out of the round.
Mm.
And
Yeah, Orton are a little behind on points as well. Yeah, and this is the thing I
they are,
struggle
yeah.
with. Because even though they had a great game, um, yeah, it's hard to get those points always. I guess they don't have
It
Earth One, right?
is. Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like I love this game. I think this game is pretty beautifully designed. I'm big
Mm,
into board games in general, and this I would say Terra Mystica is safely my favorite. But
nice.
from a game design perspective, Orin have no faction ability, and I think that it's always a little bit sad to me, and I do think it hinders them at this stage of the game. Red Dream had the stronghold built, so utilizing that Orin ability, but otherwise
Mm.
it's there's a big blank space where everyone else has a faction ability. So
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Good point, actually. Mm.
so anyways, but
That's why I
as
stayed
much as I
away.
love the design of this game, I've always thought that was a weird choice and sort of a bummer.
Yeah,
I wish
just
they
to
had
omit a faction
something
ability
there, like
completely.
anything. But what are you
Yeah.
gonna do? So it goes. So yeah, like I said, I'm unfortunately running a little bit low on time here, so we might need to breeze through this last round a little bit. But basically, you're set
Mm.
up for 3 towns. Seems like that's what you're focused on. You have a couple of really interesting decisions here. And did you basically have a moment where you had to try to count everything out to see what you had? Like, were you worried about not being able to make the towns? Because the first, if I'm not mistaken, let me get to this point in the round here before you talk about it a little bit. But you end up upgrading a temple here as one of your early
Mm.
moves, if not the first move in the round. Um,
Yeah. And I
so you're
think I
down
get
to four
one.
workers in hands. Yeah, yeah. So I thought that was a really interesting decision. You end up taking Air One, where it looks to me like you do need Fire Two as well to make sure you do get 4 towns. Um, had you
Yeah.
counted it out, or were you just saying I need every point I can get? I know that I can get down. Like, were you thinking about the towns? Were you thinking about the? Yeah. What were you thinking about at this
Yeah,
point?
I think there was like a lot of ideas kind of coming up in my mind again, and I didn't really know like what was optimal, and I had to choose something. But
Yeah.
I do use like like there's a tool that I use as well, like on like I think it's connected to GitHub, where it just sort of like helps you kind of calculate like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I've seen that.
yeah, like with like how many resources you're going to need to get X many dwellings and yeah,
Right.
X many trading posts and that kind of thing. So I know what I need to get with the towns and everything like that. And also ideally I want to get to 15 structures. So I just sort of yeah, did calculations with that tool.
Right.
Just kind of gave me the resource I need. And I
Nice.
just thought that I could afford, yeah, to get um, two temples basically.
Yeah. I
And
mean, it worked out great. I thought it was very patient play. Um, and yeah,
yeah,
you end up getting extra 3 points off it, which ends up being pretty crucial. So
yeah, exactly. I just wanted to kind of guarantee that Air One point swing. But it did cost me a bit of tempo on the towns as well. So there's a
right,
trade-off there.
right, yeah. So at this point, were you just hoping for the highest point towns you could get, or did you have any particular?
Yeah, I was just hoping to get the highest. Oh, I was thinking like let's get a priest town. I think that just because that could be a worker, or I could put that to Colts as well and deny someone else the priest. So I thought that'd be quite nice. And I did want to get to second on water. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. So, but this on this action, what you choose to do here, another interesting move, you turn A6 yellow, um, which
Yeah.
looks to me like it's a block on Chaos Magicians. Did you have them as your biggest competition at this point in the game?
Yeah, I did. I mean, again, I was just kind of scanning, like going with intuition, really. I didn't do much calculation, and I thought chaos was the biggest threat at this point. And I wanted to make a town much more costly for them. Um, but it was quite funny because they managed to get a bridge and not like to connect their stronghold. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they
I was,
they had no power when you did that, and they still
right.
managed to make it happen somehow.
Yeah. So, how did they? Okay, because they get to the top of that cult, they get some power, and then they must have accepted power from others, and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't
So
even line to be honest.
you didn't even what?
See that line that they could just get a bridge from
Oh,
their
you
sanctuary. I'd totally
got it.
written off that sanctuary as just
Yeah,
like
you were
a
like, well, I just killed their town.
facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, well,
Yeah.
even having seen the possibility, it's like they had so much power. They had so little power, and they
Mm,
needed,
mm.
to cycle, I think, 6 power to do it. But they ended up getting there, like you said. So where they at? They topped the fire cult just then to help with that, and yeah, so they end up getting there. But so
Yeah,
in
I
the meantime,
definitely
definitely what?
I wouldn't have done that again. Like
Oh, if you
having
thought it
seen
didn't block their
that.
town
Yeah,
outright.
like it
Okay,
was
interesting.
without doing that. Yeah, because
To be
also
honest, it's possible that was a game-winning move for you though, because they end up having to spend so many resources to get the
yeah.
bridge that it's possible. I don't know what they would have done with the resources otherwise, but they end up coming in second and a pretty close second at that, if I remember. So
Yeah, true, true. Potentially was. Yeah, it wasn't all thought out entirely
okay,
clearly, but
like you said, going
potentially.
off intuition a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, people are just claiming towns left and right here. I think there's only one town made before this round, and you end up getting the priest town that you were hoping for.
Yeah, that was quite nice.
And let's see. And then the
Wait,
worker towns start going. So I assume those would have been the next choice for you. They're worth the most points, and you're
yeah,
gonna need workers.
I really thought I was going to get a workers town, so
Yeah,
I was sort of
yeah,
like, yeah, I was happy to just like sort of slow play it. Really, I just thought that I don't know there was going to be a guarantee for some reason, but
yeah.
no,
Well, you end up putting a priest to water, basically locking up what looks like could be a second place there.
yeah.
And yeah, and then Chaos Magicians end up having what it takes to get a bridge. So they claim the second worker town.
Yeah, yeah. Took me by surprise. I think because coins towns are usually quite sought after, more than worker towns, I feel.
Right.
And also potentially shipping towns sometimes people want to take those. So yeah, definitely surprised to see that go.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what you end up doing is just taking the next best town, right? Next most points.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you end up with just enough of everything, if I'm not mistaken. Like you take right here, where are we at? You just use your spades, so you're one action away from a town. And then unfortunately, Chaos Magicians do take Water 2, Water 3 on you to push you down to third place
Can I ask you,
there.
like, following this, like,
Yeah,
did you have an idea who was gonna like win in the final round, or
that's what I was
like?
actually going to ask you too. At what point you felt like you had it? Because I think that it was right around this point when, in following it, I was like, I think Alchemists have it. I think Locky's got it. Went one because the power towns could be workers basically. You had enough workers to win network.
Mm, yeah. Um,
Yeah. What about you?
I honestly knew that I'd won when it said Locky 91 win
Okay.
at the
Yeah. Sometimes that's the best way. That's so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I was I mean, I think I was partly following it so closely. Like I said, I really like watching these high level games. And you guys were
Mm.
it was a really tight, it was clear that it was a really tight game. Um but I also was I wanted to wrap this all up before I wanted to like do this video and everything before my December break started. So I'm going out of town in about a day. So I was like
Okay.
I was like, are they gonna finish it? I want them to finish it. So that
Yeah,
was part of it.
yeah.
But yeah, no, but I ended
Nice.
up doing doing some calculations once I saw how chaos magicians are clearly using their resources. I was like, I see that they can build a temple and I see what's gonna happen here. And
Mm,
looking at the fact that there's power towns left, I was like, I think that's enough. I think Locky has enough workers just using those power towns basically. So and I think a big part of it to me looked like I thought Orin were gonna end on 15 structures too, and they decided to, instead of like upgrading digs, I don't know if they had the option, I don't know if they had the resources, but instead of upgrading digs and digging out their third town, they just single dug right off the bat because they didn't want to lose that town space.
yeah,
So I feel like
yeah,
that those network points you got from winning network outlet, because as we see here, you built out your last dwelling in the south there, and so you've got 18 network points. I feel like that was huge. That was crucial. I mean, I think they probably did what was best for them.
mm,
They obviously did what they thought was best for them at the time, and it seemed like probably their best line. But I think that was you ended up getting blocked out of the worker towns, but having them not take those network points from you was helpful too. So
yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, and I was thinking of actually of maybe digging that hex. Was that the
I
hexa
was gonna
on D?
ask you. Yeah, it was on the east. I think D7 or E9, one of those.
Yeah, I was like looking at it and thinking like, should I not? But yeah, I didn't want
Okay.
to spend the worker at that point. So
I'm guessing they were afraid you were going to do that. I think halflings could have dug it too. I'm not sure if deranged would have
right,
considered that, but yeah, I'm sure that's why they would have done it. So what you're saying is you probably wouldn't have dug that hex.
yeah, yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
But it
maybe if
ended
I
up,
was
yeah.
calculating everything out though, I could have potentially made the decision to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
possibly, but they ended up just going for it. I think they didn't give you the option, or maybe did they pass? No, they passed after you, so I guess you would have had the option. But you had just what you needed for all the towns, and even though you didn't get the higher point towns that you were hoping for, you had just enough workers to get everything down, and I think you had just enough coins too. It looks like you finished with some power for a little extra point here as alchemists, but yeah, it all came
Mm.
together really nicely. So.
Hmm. Yeah, all those power actions got me through as well.
Yeah, 5 coins action. I think, sorry, 5 workers actions, and I think no other power actions at all. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, sorry, the yeah, 5 worker power. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. So really well played. Huge congratulations. And yeah, let's see if I can pull it up here. I'm gonna, um, let's see, will it come up? Oops. There we have a Hall of Fame for the Tukey Cup now, and you are now the
Oh, amazing.
yeah, you're now the fourth winner here, joining the likes of Zarito, Zoras, and Zavok. So,
Oh, what
um,
an accolade.
yeah, yeah. So huge
That's fun.
congratulations on putting your name in right now, as you can see. 91, right? Is
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. Feel free to
that?
keep it as my BGA. BGA
So we'll
name.
call it. Yeah.
It's one of those regrets, like putting your year of birth in your name. It's like, oh,
Yeah. Well,
minute. Yeah,
we've all been
that's
there.
okay.
I feel like.
So
So,
good.
do you mind if I ask what's the Locky part of the name, or is that a hidden
Oh yeah,
secret?
well my name's Matthew Lock, and like
Oh,
my
okay.
nickname at school
That'll
and
do
what
it.
people know me as
Locky.
is Locky. Yeah, so there
Amazing.
we go.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So there you go. And I'm gonna do a write up of uh I'll post a link to this Hall of Fame in the video description, and I'll do a little write up of your game. But this is what it looks like for prior to the finals. And I'll do a little write up of the next one, and I'll so that anyone who wants to check out the Hall of Fame can. And this is a great place to look if anyone's just looking for anyone who's made it this far in the video is obviously interested in watching and hearing about. High level Terra Mystica play. There's game links to all of the games here. So every 2Key Cup has 5 games for the format. So if you want to poke around and see what people have done, there's a lot of interesting games and a lot of really high level play here. But yep, Locky, you are cementing yourself here as the fourth winner. So huge congratulations. I hope you find at least some small way to celebrate, even if life is a little bit busy at the moment.
Thanks. Yeah, probably be a beer at home at 8 o'clock at night.
Sounds nice.
So
Sometimes that's the best way.
yeah, yeah. No, thanks for organizing as well, and it's really cool to inject that you inject kind of so much life into these games as well. It's yeah, it definitely brings the community in. So
I'm happy to do
appreciate
it.
that.
It's been a blast, and yeah, along those lines. So this celebrates 1 year of 2 Key Cups. The next one will be in. Right now, we're aiming for February next year. It'll be a live one. We alternate live and turn based. Um,
Oh, cool.
this is my chance to announce it'll be a special edition. We're going to do a special edition 2 Key Cup every fifth 2 Key Cup. So this will be the first one, and more information on that to come in the coming weeks. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And and here's the last thing, Locky. Like I said before we got on the call here, if ever our paths should cross, this is your little prize. I had some keychains made. So if you ever make it out to Terra Mysticon while we're both there,
Yeah.
you've got a keychain with your name on it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully so. I've been to one Terra Mysticon.
Oh,
We'll
did you go
see. It's
last year or the
uh
first
I
year?
yeah, yeah, I went like yeah, like not this year, yeah, last year.
Okay.
Um
Yeah, I think we just missed each other, and that was the one that I missed. So in any case, hopefully we get to meet in person. And yeah, it's been great getting to chat with you here. And thanks for taking the time to share your thoughts on the game. I know I found it interesting. I'm sure a bunch of other people enjoyed it as well.
cool. Yeah, yeah, no worries at all. Yeah,
All right.
thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, take care.
Cool. Yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you
See
too.
you soon.